My interest in the Mercedes brand began a long time ago. Now, I don't think that the brand is any better than any of the others, but they do tend to build some special application vehicles aimed squarely at the off-road sector. I purchased the red Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon you're looking at now in about 1989. And at the time, I liked the build quality, visibility, the front and rear diff locks and the long travel core suspension. Now, we then went on to purchase two MB tracks. Now, no one makes a steep country tractor any better than these today. Soon after, I got hold of a Mercedes-Benz 911 4x4 crane truck. Now, this truck is a great off-road vehicle, being short wheelbase, fitted with a crane, high and low range, and rear diff lock. It can get in and out of just about anywhere. We fitted a hydraulic 15-ton winch with a cable setup that runs 4.5 through the chassis mounted roller guides. Which brings me to the Mercedes-Benz Actros 6x6. Not only do I wish to carry logs on it, but in the same day, I want to be able to carry a load of supplies back to the bush to service our equipment. There are not many vehicles like the Mercedes-Benz Actros 6x6 in this country, so it's not easy getting hold of one. There is no doubt that they are a special application vehicle and not many people would want one. In saying that, you will see them being used in the mining sector. Because I couldn't afford a new one, I had to hunt around for a year or two for a used one to come up for sale. Now, the Mercedes-Benz factory is based in Wörth, Germany. Now, as of 2021, it was the largest truck factory in the world, employing nearly 11,000 people. It covers 5 square kilometres and it produces 470 trucks per day. Its diesel engines are built in Mannheim, Germany. The Mercedes Actros 6x6 could be the ideal vehicle for our next project. 450 horsepower, turbocharged, 16-speed semi-auto transmission with high and low range, diff locks, heavy-duty hub reduction diffs, 70-tonne rated, long travel spring suspension, high ground clearance and a well laid out cab design with plenty of room inside. The 6x6 Mercedes Actros, along with the Unimog, G-Wagon, Zetros and AROX, are being used by the military forces all around the world. Now, recently our ADF chose the Mercedes G-Wagon to replace its ageing Land Rovers. The new G-Wagons look exactly the same as my old girl, and mine was built in 1985. Knowing what I know about the few Mercs that we have in our own operation, I'd be hoping that the 6x6 Mercedes Actros truck has been designed and built to operate in severe conditions, and it will have to be good because where it's going in its next life is a long way from the desert. Our logging operation is very steep, and when it rains for months on end. And we all know what it's like when you answer an advertisement and you find out that what you're looking for is 1,000 kilometres away from where you live. So I'm heading to Mackay in Central Queensland, Australia to look at a low kilometre Mercedes-Benz 6x6 Actros that a mining service contractor is putting up for sale shortly. Now, Mackay is a service industry hub for the Bowen and Galilee Basin. It's also been identified by the Adani Group as being the key service centre for its $21 billion coal mine project in the basin. Now, most of these vehicles that have anything to do with mining copper hiding with corrosion. In saying that, this truck is still in good condition, testament to the fact that they must have painted them properly when they were new. This truck is fitted with the very well built and heavy duty 6 metre steel checker plate steel tray with good guarding over the tail lights and so on. Like most mining vehicles, this truck is fitted with the ROPS cab guard over the cab. It's fitted with hydraulics and a well-designed aluminium bull bar with driving lights. On first glance, the truck appears to be in reasonable condition. It's shod with the bigger 35-80R 22.5 tyres, which are about 100mm larger in diameter than conventional truck tyres. Now, I drove the vehicle very briefly in the yard and everything appeared to operate as it should. Now, if we buy this truck, we'll strip her down and tidy her up and make it more suitable for our type of operation. The truck has been serviced regularly by the local Mercedes dealership in Mackay. Anyway, I'll have to get back to the airport and head back to base camp. Well, I'm back at base, and while I was in flight, my team back home managed to purchase the truck. I got hold of the owner's manual and I've been reading up on the transmission. I'm a bit interested to see how the 16-speed semi-auto will work in the bush. This truck will be loaded up with 4,000 litres of water, hot water cleaning equipment, compressor, welder, generator, diesel, tools, spare parts and so on, so that we can service our gear in remote areas. Every now and then we get some logs located in some really difficult places, so we might give her a go at hauling them out. Looks like they give the Mercs a fair bit of a hiding in Indonesia, working in that steep wet country. The 6-wheel drive, hub reduction diffs and the low range transfer box is being used to the max, and it would appear that they're loading them up fairly well. Quite obviously there's no weight limits over there. That has to be hard going on any vehicle. Now, we put ours up on the service ramp a few days back and we checked what we could. We replaced a few belts, a belt tensioner and so on while we had the cab up. Changed all of the oils and the filters. Where it's heading will be steep and fairly rough going, so we've lowered the tyre pressures a bit. So we'll load her up, send her to the bush next week and see how she performs in the steep country with some weight on board. We have a skidder tyre to replace, plus we have to bring home a harvesting head that weighs about 4 tonne. Stay tuned, let's see how she rolls.